SKOL Vikings, let's win this game.
Attention Vikings fans! The atmosphere in Minnesota is electric, and for good reason. Between quiet roster moves, an unexpected gem emerging in the secondary, and Jordan Addison's week-to-week swing-splitting opinion, the fan base is feeling every beat of this season. But hold up. While there are stories of resilience, everyone was blindsided by an unexpected gut punch. Stick around to the end. That last one will hit hard. Before we break down every detail real quick, subscribe to the channel. It costs nothing, it's free, and it seriously strengthens this purple community. Drop a like, too, because it helps YouTube recommend this video to more Vikings fans around the world. And leave a comment, because this space belongs to the entire Vikings nation. The Vikings are using the bye week to reshuffle the board, and there's more happening behind the scenes than most realize. 3 subtle moves that speak volumes about what's coming for the offensive line. To be honest, it signals confidence in what fans have been hoping for weeks: health returning to the roster. First, they released a depth tackle who was occupying a practice squad spot. Nothing personal, but that opened a lane to bring back 2 familiar names: interior lineman Vershawn Lee and tight end Nick Vannett. Both returned to the practice squad, signaling a full reorganization of protection for our guy, J.J. McCarthy. And that's the point. None of this is random. In football, actions speak louder than words, and Minnesota's message with these moves is clear. Darisaw and Jackson are getting closer to being 100%. You can feel Kevin O'Connell getting ready to let the LT1 play full snaps again. That changes everything. When the line is healthy, the offense breathes. Plus, Jackson's return balances the left side, which had struggled in recent weeks. What really excites me is how these decisions reveal trust in the group. Getting these guys back means the pain is fading and the rhythm is returning. And there's more to read here. Nick Vannett returning to the practice squad could indicate that Ben Urasek, the TE3 who does the dirty work in the trenches, is healthy. That's huge because everyone needs to be right to protect McCarthy and open lanes on the ground. This line needs to be intact for the plan to work. And the big mystery, Brian O'Neill. The veteran tried to return during the game he was injured and was not placed on IR. For those who know the business, that's a strong sign of optimism. It's the kind of injury that worries you, but not enough to shelve him long term. He should be back soon. If this continues trending the right way, fans can finally exhale. The message is obvious. The Vikings are gearing up to protect their future. Keeping J.J. McCarthy upright is priority number 1. Drop a comment if you feel this line is finally about to click, because the next story shows exactly who's proving it on the field. If there's one name silencing critics across Minnesota, it's a cornerback few noticed on arrival. The Vikings found a bona fide steal in the secondary, a player competing like he has something personal to prove on every snap. To be honest, I didn't expect this impact so quickly. Isaiah Rodgers arrived quietly on a modest deal with little fanfare. Many figured he'd be depth, just another roster piece. Instead, he's writing a different script. Across the first 5 weeks, he's playing at a Pro Bowl level clip. Even with injuries hitting the roster, Rodgers has been a rock. He's played every game, stayed steady, and delivered that Cincinnati performance that had everyone off the couch. A pick 6, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery touchdown. It was one of those days when the entire defense felt like it revolved around one player. Sure, skeptics will point to PFF grades and say the numbers don't match the impact. But anyone watching knows his influence extends beyond the stat line. He hasn't allowed a single touchdown, and when quarterbacks test him, they're rating craters. He's the kind of corner who changes the math by simply being there. That's what fires me up, seeing a player seize the moment. Remember, the early season critique was loud. Thin secondary, Murphy on an island, the front office under fire. Looks like Rodgers heard all of it and turned it into fuel. The Vikings defense needed an anchor. He's becoming exactly that. On a team still chasing balance between offense and defense, it's reassuring to see someone claim the spotlight with this much poise. And yes, fans and female fans alike are noticing. Rodgers is becoming a popular name not just for production, but for demeanor. Calm, smart, firm. With a brutal stretch ahead, the Vikings will need that energy. There's no room for slip-ups, and having a corner who can erase a side of the field frees the rest of the unit to fly. Honestly, it looks like the front office nailed this one. The kind of hit that can swing a season. Drop your take if you think he's become a defensive cornerstone, because the next storyline splits the fan base right down the middle. This one will divide the room. Jordan Addison is pure talent, but his arc has been a roller coaster. Some weeks he explodes, other weeks off-field noise creates headaches. And to be honest, that's what has the Purple Faithful split. Undeniable talent, concerning patterns. Since last year, Addison has lived between brilliance and turbulence. The reckless driving incident, the Los Angeles airport episode, the suspension, all of it matters. Yet when he's on the field, the narrative flips. He's dynamic, explosive, decisive, and that mix leaves fans torn between love and doubt. The tricky part is his return lined up with bad timing. McCarthy got hurt and Carson Wentz had to play. Even so, Addison produced 9 receptions over 2 games, north of 150 yards, and a crucial touchdown. Then came London. He sat the first quarter for missing a walkthrough. It happens, but Kevin O'Connell made a point. The coach held the line and Addison responded. He scored the game winner and left as a hero, but the debate was already raging online. Do you keep a player with this history no matter the talent? The conversation blew up, drawing national voices. Some fans preach patience. He's young, he's maturing, Jefferson and the locker room leaders will help. Others argue for a hard reset, especially while his trade value is high. They say he's worth a second-round pick, maybe more in the right deal with a receiver-needy team. I get both sides. The Vikings value character and O'Connell is firm on standards, but Addison is a one-play can win the game type. Talent like that is scarce. Seeing Jefferson publicly take him under his wing shows how much the locker room wants him on track. Hopefully he stays there because that duo's ceiling is scary, in the best way. The big question, will Addison learn or keep towing the line? Time will tell. Weigh in. Would you keep Addison or trade him while the value's high? Because the next segment highlights the opposite. 5 guys honoring the jersey without a shred of drama. After so much turbulence, it's worth taking a breath and spotlighting the positives. Amid the chaos, the Vikings have 5 success stories proving this roster still has plenty to give. Players who seized opportunity, embraced responsibility, and became foundational pieces for a winning start. The kind of stuff that makes the Purple Faithful proud. First up, Isaiah Rodgers. He's already on today's rundown, but deserves the encore. He's the second-ranked corner in the league per PFF with an elite grade. Against the Bengals, he took over. An interception, a forced fumble, and a touchdown. Beyond the numbers, he brought leadership and confidence, quieting early season doubts. Next, Theo Jackson. With Harrison Smith banged up and Cameron Bynum gone, Jackson was thrown into the fire and held firm. He's already doubled his previous season's snap count, steady if unspectacular, the system glue every defense needs. On offense, Jordan Mason has been a revelation. When Aaron Jones got hurt, many expected the ground game to crater. Mason answered with urgency, ripping more than 100 yards and 2 touchdowns against Cincinnati and maintaining solid output even behind a battered line. He's not a stopgap. He's earned the room's respect. On special teams, Miles Price brings juice. Penalties wiped out some of his best returns, but he keeps attacking contact and squeezing yards from every chance. He's among the league leaders in combined return yardage. The staff sticking with him after a mistake is culture building, plain and simple. And then Jalen Redmond. Minnesota traded Harrison Phillips on the eve of the season and bet on Redmond as a new pillar up front. What a call. 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, and a steady stream of disruption. He's become the defense's motor on a reserve-level salary. Keep this pace and a payday is coming, and should come in Minnesota. These 5 embody the backbone of this team. No complaints, just work and results. While some bigger names ride the criticism cycle, these guys are the quiet fuel. Hold that thought, because the final topic features a name no one expected to shine, now doing it somewhere else. This one stings for longtime followers. The Vikings suffered an unexpected loss, not an injury, but pride. An ex-offensive lineman who left through the side door is now playing like a man on a mission. And to be honest, watching it in a different uniform keeps fans up at night. Ed Ingram. Remember him? Criticized, booed, traded, and now Pro Football Focus has him as the league's best guard through the early weeks of 2025. Surreal. The same player who was a symbol of missed assignments in Minnesota is dominating in Houston. The difference? The fit and the system look right. He never settled here. 3 years, ups and downs, then shipped out when Will Freeze arrived. At the time, celebrations felt justified. It seemed like the right call. No one expected the Texans to unlock a monster. He's sitting at 84.0, tops among guards. Explanations vary. Scheme, quarterback time to throw, coaching. In Minnesota, he was a solid run blocker who struggled in pass pro. With Stroud getting the ball out quickly, his performance spiked. Still, nobody becomes a Pro Bowler in 1 year by luck alone. The takeaway, environment matters. Ingram had 3 years to fit here and didn't. In Houston, he found rhythm. But don't ignore the flip side. The trade yielded Jordan Mason, who's been very good. Maybe both sides win. Fans are emotional, and rightly so. Seeing a former Viking thrive elsewhere feels like the team gave up too soon. It reopens an old Minnesota wound. Patience with development. The crowd wants instant returns. The front office too, and sometimes talent slips away in the middle. It's early to say whether Ingram sustains this level, but the ex who became a star narrative is everywhere now. Hard not to wonder, was more time needed, or did he simply need a new home to bloom? Weigh in. Did the Vikings make the right move, or is this one fans will remember for years? Because the conclusion goes straight at what all of this says about the team. Stepping back, it's fair to say the Vikings are at a pivot point. The roster tweaks show planning, the new standouts prove the rebuild has structure, and there are lessons, especially with cases like Ingram. This team is pure emotion, hits and misses side by side, but the purple heartbeat keeps pounding. One thing is certain, no one gives up on this crest. Drop a comment. This space belongs to everyone who lives the purple faithful, and get ready, because the next video is going to be a heater. Stay tuned. SKOL Vikings, let's go!